we start, I actually want to take some time to introduce my team to you. I only have 2 members here with me today. A couple of my other kids are preparing for an additional competition, but today I have with me senior Catherine Branham and junior Matt O'Brien. And our project is actually entitled, there's a typo, it's actually entitled No More Burns. And we were asked to give a little bit of a different type of presentation. We were asked to, instead of so much focusing all on our project, was to kind of focus on the process of CMPS and how your schools or your students can implement the CMPS process. And we'll kind of break that down for you through our presentation. So if you can go back to the first slide. Yep. There we go. Great. Okay. So the project is entitled No More Burns, Creating Jobs for the Underserved. And I'm extremely proud of these students because not only did they create this project, but it went on to be the Kentucky State High School CMPS champion, and they will go on and represent our school and our district at Ames, Iowa. Is it? Yeah. When you start a CMPS project, one of the first things you do is you look in your community and you try to identify what are problems that are going to affect you, what are problems that are going to affect your students, their peers, whatever. So through their process, one of the problems they found was that occupation and employment in our area is limited, that there are several possibilities when they leave high school, but actually what's oriented in our area is quite small as far as variety of employment. And when they started through the process, they realized that not only was there a limited amount of employment in our area, but that for students and individuals with disabilities, that limit was even more constricted. And so one of the things you do in problem solving is you state your problem. And the statement of the problem follows a very specific format. How might we, and then they state what they want to do in order to fix their problem. Once you know where you're kind of going to focus on what problem, you begin researching. This is some of their findings. This is the percentage of people in Appalachia living either at or below the poverty level. And once you have your research, you really want to focus in. So they focus their research in on the area of Johnson County, and they found that Johnson County is listed as a high unemployment area. The average income in Johnson County is about $4,000 less than the whole state, and that those with special needs and disabilities are even at a higher risk of not being able to find employment or not being able to find suitable or quality employment. And so they really narrowed their focus at this point. Anything you all want to add?
Our project took a turn about the beginning of March. My sister went on homebound and we were getting close to our competition. So we had to kind of change it from an employment opportunity to, we focus more on soft skills with the kids. And we're working with an extraordinary group of individuals at our school. People who will go on to college, but they're looking for employment opportunities as well right now. So we worked with them to create resumes and help them learn some job building opportunities that they normally wouldn't get in regular school.
And so once the kids have completed their research, they've identified their problem, now they create a plan. So the plan is the next step, and this was our action plan, was to increase occupational opportunities for individuals with special needs. And they got this idea through a separate entrepreneurial project that they had done where the students created a product called No More Burns. It's for women who use hot styling tools. It's a silicone guard. And so what they wanted to do was to teach these students those soft skills for finding employment, seeking out employment, obtaining employment, as well as to teach them the entrepreneurial process. So once you're at that point with your students and you have an action plan, you want your actions to be very focused. And so the kids continue to research what was important to the students that they were going to target. And our data findings were that there were a significant number of students that were concerned that they wouldn't be able to find or maintain employment. A lot of them are enrolled in certificate-based or special education programs, and we wanted to make sure that they got that aspect of job training and that encouragement that they needed. And we wanted to make sure that these students had the ability to search for and apply for jobs. And one of the ways that they targeted their program to students was by surveying the students that were going to be involved. They interviewed special education teachers, resource teachers, other teachers in the building that worked with these students, and they also interviewed some of the students themselves. Anything you want?
I think you covered it.
Okay. So once they had their focus and they had their action plan, you design a list of solutions, and your solutions all refer back to your action plan. What is going to be your target? Of course, they were going to do the business and job training through their entrepreneurial model that they had already created for themselves. They have worked with these students on how to write a resume, how to fill out applications, how to obtain references for applications and quality references, how to write cover letters for their resumes. And then they also have focused on some of the real world skills that these students will need to survive. Balancing a checkbook, calculating interest on an automobile loan, sales tax, and all of that. Because they are the state champions and will advance on to internationals, they are allowed to continue this project up until the moment they compete at international conference, which is in June in Ames, Iowa. So right now they're working with about 15 to 20 students on this process, and they will continue to do that. You guys want to add if I left out anything?
I think you got it.
Thanks. They're also in my class, so they're really supportive. Yeah, you're doing an awesome job there, Ms. Ratliff. No, but I'm extremely impressed. They really managed to focus and narrow this project and really get at the heart of what is needed for these students and what they want these students to have, the same opportunities that they're going to have when they walk across the stage and graduate. So here are my state champions. I'm extremely proud of them and everything that they have accomplished. So if you have any questions, I'll answer, they'll answer. Anything we can answer.
I will just say that I was downstairs yesterday when you were working with those students, and they were extremely in tune with what you all were doing. You had great rapport with them, so I think that just from walking by, just being there for 5 minutes, I think that what you've done is a success, because I think they had it means something when your peers work with you in that way. So I think that it's definitely a positive right there.
Thank you.
I'm really proud of them.